10 homeowners called me this year with the same story. They already paid a home inspector to test their house for mold. Then their remediation company told them the report couldn't be used, and they had to hire a licensed mold assessor and pay again. So today, I'm going to tell you exactly what Florida law says so it never happens to you. I'm Daniel Leon. I'm a Florida licensed mold assessor, license number MRSA3831. I don't remediate. I test, I document, I write the report. That's it. In Florida, mold assessment is not a marketing word, it's a defined legal term. Under Florida Statute 468.8411, mold assessment means the physical sampling and detailed evaluation of a building's history and condition to identify the origin, location, and extent of mold growth greater than 10 square feet. Read that again. The physical sampling is the mold assessment. They are not two separate things. And under Florida Statute 468.8413, only a licensed mold assessor, someone holding an active MRSA license, can perform a mold assessment for compensation. The state requires either a 2-year degree with 30 semester hours of microbiology or related science, plus 1 year of field experience, or a high school diploma plus 4 years of documented microbial sampling experience. That's the bar the state set. It's not optional. A Florida home inspector is licensed under a separate part of Chapter 468. Their job is a general condition report on a house: roof, plumbing, electrical, structural, HVAC. A home inspector can legally do this. They can look at a wall, see visible discoloration, and note in their report, quote, possible microbial growth, recommend consulting a licensed mold assessor. That is a valid legal home inspection observation. That's what a good home inspector does. That's not what happened to these 10 homeowners. In every one of those 10 cases, the home inspector did more than observe. They pulled out a pump, they took an air sample, they took a swab or a tape lift, they sent it to a lab, they charged the client for it, and they delivered a mold report. Here's the problem. Under Florida law, that is a mold assessment. And if you're taking money to perform a mold assessment, you have to hold an MRSA license, not a home inspector license. Most of these inspectors didn't hold both. So what they delivered was a report from a service they weren't licensed to perform. And on top of that, the report was missing the one thing every remediation company legally needs before they can touch a wall: a written mold remediation protocol. A protocol is the scope of work: where to contain, what to remove, what materials to use, how to verify the work when it's done. Without that protocol, no legitimate remediator will start. So the client paid the inspector for a report they couldn't act on. Then they had to call me. I had to redo the assessment properly, write the protocol, and only then could the remediator get to work. The homeowner paid twice. That's the pattern. Let me answer both questions directly, and I want to be precise here because this is a criminal statute. Is it legal if a person in Florida performs or offers to perform a mold assessment without an active MRSA license? No. Florida Statute 468.8419 makes that a crime. First violation is a second-degree misdemeanor. Second violation is a first-degree misdemeanor. Third or subsequent violation is a third-degree felony. That's the statute, not my opinion. On top of the criminal statute, Florida Statute 455.228 gives the Department of Business and Professional Regulation civil enforcement power over anyone practicing a regulated profession without a license. Cease and desist notices, civil penalties of $500 to $5,000 per offense, and each day the unlicensed practice continues after a citation counts as a separate violation. Is it ethical? Even if someone holds both licenses and the sampling itself is legal, skipping the remediation protocol when the client obviously needs one is a professional failure. The whole point of a mold assessment is to give the client something they can act on. A report with no protocol is a receipt, not a service. Here is the single move that protects you. Before you hire anyone to test your home for mold in Florida, ask one question. What is your MRSA license number? Every licensed mold assessor in Florida has one. Mine is MRSA 3831. You can verify it in about 20 seconds at myfloridalicense.com. Type in the license number or the person's name, and the state will show you the license status, the expiration date, and any disciplinary history. If the person cannot give you an MRSA number, they cannot legally perform a mold assessment in Florida. It's that simple. Second question, once you have confirmed the license, does your report include a written remediation protocol if I need one? If the answer is no, you're going to pay twice. One more thing that matters here, at Mold Assessment Services Group, we are independent. We assess and test only. We never remediate. Florida law actually separates those two roles for a reason. The person testing your home should not be the same person selling you the cleanup. It removes the conflict of interest. Our lab is AIHA accredited. Our reports are lab verified in 24 to 48 hours, and every report includes the protocol if the finding calls for one. If you're in Miami-Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach, and you're not sure whether the mold report you already have is valid, call me. 305 244 7379. I'll tell you honestly whether you need a full reassessment or whether what you have can be built on. If you're about to hire someone to test your home, ask for the MRSA number first. Verify it at myfloridalicense.com, then decide. Independent. Licensed MRSA 3831. Miami Beach. See you on the next one.